Hi there, this is MC Yoda, and welcome back to my solo Minecraft world where I am playing vanilla Minecraft with no crafting tables. So you notice somebody did mention to put something here to block the villagers and golems from coming over here. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but that's just such a brilliant idea. So now these guys will stop coming in here to disturb me in my tiny, tiny little storage room. Before I get started, I saw somebody up here. There he is. We got a wandering trader, and he is selling me something that I don't think I have access to yet. And that would be sea pickles. So I'm going to buy these sea pickles. I don't think I've found any kind of warm ocean or coral reef yet. And I can't make more of these without a coral block or two. So hopefully another one of these guys will come by selling some coral blocks. That'd be pretty awesome. Looks like this guy's caught on the other side with no lead. This guy's got one lead, though. Alright, I got that lead. We won't talk about how I did that. Okay, so I want to talk to you about what I'm getting ready to do today. So, last episode, I mentioned that I've been kind of leaving this base, right? This is just a very simple thing. I just carved out a couple of tunnels for these guys to live in and a couple of rooms to put their beds and their workbenches in. But I mean, who wants to live in this, right? This is a pretty dingy, dank, kind of boring place to live. And so I think I need to make a better base down here. Okay, this is the whole thing. They do have two guards down here, though. That's pretty cool. Guard them from what? I don't know, but they've got them. So I have a really cool idea for this base, and I think it's going to be big. Like, it's going to be like probably stupid big, like bigger than I should probably be attempting. But ever since I was a child, I was always into Dungeons and Dragons, and there is this cool D&D map that I found, and it is called, I forget the name of it. I will flash it up here on the screen, and it's I think the map is for some kind of underground temple of some kind, but it doesn't matter what it's for. I'm just liking the shape and the design and everything. So it has 2 levels. However, the middle kind of goes all the way from the ceiling to the floor. And then it's got like the 2 levels kind of go around the outside. And I think it's pretty cool. So here I was thinking how I'm going to integrate that into this terrain. So on the map, the facing, it's kind of like facing up against a mountain or a hill or something. And then it kind of goes into the hill and then down. So technically I could do it like up against that hill. But I want it here underneath all of this. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of, maybe if I think like the entrance is maybe somewhere around here-ish. So we have its, yeah, so it kind of starts after the iron farm, right? So maybe like somewhere around here would be the front of it, okay? And we could like build up something, make a cool entrance to it or something at some point in time. But I think this is where it's going to be. So in looking at that map, I've tried to do D&D maps in the past in Minecraft, and I played around with the scale. I think this one I'm going to keep to the actual 10-foot scale. So in most D&D maps, the scale of the grids are 10-foot squares, okay? And 3 Minecraft blocks are 3. Each Minecraft block is a meter, so 3 of them is 3 meters. Which is pretty darn close to 10 feet. It's like 9 point something feet. It's actually, it rounds up to 10 rather than rounding down to 9. So it's actually pretty close to 10 feet. So every grid in that square then is basically, every grid in that map is basically a 3x3 block of squares. A block of, square of square of blocks, block of squares, I don't know, is a 3x3 area. Now, to actually make a D&D map, though, you kind of have to leave one row in between for the actual grid lines because that's where all the walls and doors and stuff usually are on those grid lines. So technically, if you have like a 20-foot wide thing, you would have a 3, and then you'd have room for a potential wall, and then you'd have another 3. So essentially, basically, this is how you'd have to do your grids, right? To do a D&D map. And then you do like the next one here be 3x3. And I think you're getting the picture here. Okay? So essentially, if I were making a D&D grid, a D&D map grid, this is how I would do it. Okay? So a 10-foot wide wall, a 10-foot wide thing is going to be 3 blocks wide with a wall on either side. A 20-foot wide thing is going to end up being technically 7 blocks with a wall on each side, etc. Okay? So that's how I'm going to approach this build. Okay? I'll fill that in later. Okay, so I counted up the squares, and I figured it's about 4 blocks per 10-foot square, because you have, of course, like you said, you have the 3 and then the wall, then a 3 and then a wall, then a 3 and then a wall. And it's looking like it's about time to sleep here. And it's pretty close to sleeping. It's going to make me wait. Awkward pause. Yeah, okay. So it was about... oh gosh, let me count it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's about 10 grids from the entrance to the center of that big room. So that would be about 40 blocks. So if I start about here, let's say it's roughly going to be here. Is going to be the entrance. And then, am I kind of in the middle of the thing? Oh, we'll find out. So let me throw out my F3 here. Which direction is this? This is the Z direction. So that's 206, 207, somewhere in there. So if I go to like negative 246, 47. So somewhere right about here. Okay. So somewhere right about here is going to be the center of that big room. Okay. So let's just say, let's just go ahead and put this right here. Boom. There we go. So this hole is going to be basically the center of that big room in the center of the build. Okay, and it's going to extend that way, and to the left and right. Now, as far as centering it inside this space, boy, I sure wish I had mods. I just want to free cam up and see exactly where the middle of this is. But let's kind of get a feel for this. I mean, this kind of does feel like the middle, or close enough to the middle. Well, let's see. How wide would it have to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's going to be like, it's going to extend pretty far. Hope that doesn't interfere with anything I've got going on. Well, you know what? Oh, hitting too many. Oh, I'm hitting too many buttons here. There we go. Okay. We're just going to do this, and we're just going to, if it ends up overlapping with something like the mine entrance or something, we'll just deal with it at that time. But this is where it's going to be. Okay, so before this episode, I did a whole lot of farming and a whole lot of trading, and I want to get that guy away from those pumpkins, because you know what they're going to do? He's going to hop up and down on those, and he's going to end up breaking pumpkin stems. All right, so let's, okay, so as I was saying, I spent a lot of time before this episode doing a lot of farming and trading and everything, and I ended up with all these pickaxes, which you probably saw when I was trading for this pickle, and a couple more shovels, because I got a whole lot to dig out here. As you can see, they do have efficiency too, so it'll be a little bit quicker, but there's no unbreaking or anything, so I don't know how well this is going to go. And I don't know how much space ultimately I'm going to need to clear out. And I know technically sea pickles, if they're based off of sea cucumbers, they're technically not plants, but I like putting them in the plant box, because they look like plants to me. All right, so let's see. Do I have like chests and stuff to put the stuff in? Okay, I've got a bunch of chests here. I do have ladders. Excellent. Let's take those ladders. So I think first off, I want to just see how deep this is going to be. Well, first I have to figure out where it's going to start. So I think I want to go down a few blocks before I start it, because I don't want to be digging underground and then suddenly have it up here hitting the... What was this? Oh, this must have been a creeper hole. Yeah, that's probably what this was. Let's fill this in a little bit while we're here. Okay, that's all the dirt I had. Okay. So let me go down a couple of blocks before we start, like, the ceiling of this thing. Okay, so let's go, let's see. Let's go down, like, 6 blocks, and then we'll go down one more and call that ceiling. So we're going to say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be basically the top of it. We'll go down one more, and then we'll go 2, so we have room to start digging. So this is going to be basically the level of, so this right here, this right here, this is our first 10 by 10 square. This is the center of the build, okay? And I'm just going to put these here so we know that this is our way up out of this thing for now. And let me just do this. Okay. Okay. All right, so there we go. Here's our way down. And this square right here is the center of our build. Now, this thing is, according to the description of this is 60 feet tall in the center. The center room is a 60-foot tall vaulted ceiling. So each level of this is 30 feet tall. Of course, all the rooms aren't that tall, but in all total, it is 30 feet for each level. So basically, I have to go 6 of these 3x3s plus 1 down, right? So if this is considered the edge of a 10 by 10, we're going to call it cube, then 1, 2, 3. So this is 1 10 by 10, right? So now this is going to be the layer in between. Okay. And then we're going to go 3 more for the second 10 by 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I did just dig straight down. That was probably not smart, but I felt pretty safe here. So this right here is basically 20 feet. Okay, so if the ceiling was 20 feet tall, this is how tall this would be. So I think what I want to do here is mark on this. So 1, 2, 3, boom, that's a grid line. Okay, I'll put it on both sides so I can see it from everywhere. Okay, great. So now I have a whole lot of digging to do. Like a whole lot of digging to do. Like probably hours upon hours of digging to do. And none of you guys want to see that at all. And this is my vanilla installation, so I don't even have flashback or anything, so I can't really make a time lapse. So I'm just going to start digging this thing out, and I'll probably see if I can dig this initial center area out, and just to get like kind of the size of everything, and then I'll come back to you, and then we will chat about how to proceed. Okay? See you in just a moment. Okay, I am back, and many hours have passed. In fact, it's been many hours over several days. And the first thing you'll notice is I have a few new friends. So as I've been digging around down there, these little guys kept spawning, and I eventually went over and got myself a whole bunch of fish from the river. And I started taming them once I saw a cat I didn't have yet. So look at all these little friends I've made, which is pretty awesome. All right, so let me show you what I've done. Actually, you know what? Just out of curiosity, just to see how long, just a visual representation of how long I've been down there. Let's take a look at our sheep farm and see how much wool is in this. I don't know what it was last time I looked in there, but it definitely wasn't even one full row of wool. So yeah, so it's been a little while. I've been down there again for many hours. And let's see, and I've done trading and gotten new tools and stuff because I keep running through my tools. I also want to see really quick this iron farm, which I keep forgetting to come get the iron to actually trade for emeralds. Yeah, I'd say we probably should start remembering to trade for emeralds from these guys as well. I've basically just been using farming plants for emerald trades. Okay, so I want to show you what I've done down there. So I will warn you, first of all, that it doesn't look nice yet. It's basically just basic shapes, carved out shapes, and it'll look nice over time. Let's see. I've been using this right here. You can see I've got jack-o'-lanterns on me. So I've been using these as light blocks now, and you're going to see how I use those in a moment. but every time I've had to carve them, I've been, carving them to make them and putting the pumpkin seeds in here. So you can already see just by how much bone meal is in here that I've carved an awful lot of pumpkins. Let's see. So let's take a look and see what's going on. The access is over here, and this is a very, let me get those out of my hotbar. Don't need them in my hotbar. Okay. Very temporary access, right? This is my entrance. And so we just kind of open up a couple of these and close those. All right, so here is the beginnings of the base. This is, at this point in time, just the top floor. Okay? As you can see, all the walls and ceiling are just stone. All the coal I've been mining out of this has been smelting cobblestone back into stone, so I can fill up patches of, anything that's not stone with more stone. All these floors right now are just polished andesite. I just wanted something on the floor. And, well, at the time I made that decision, I was getting more andesite than the other granite varieties, so I just started using polished andesite for the floors. You'll notice that this part right here is kind of sunk down a little bit and doesn't have, and is still rough, right? It's still just natural. And that's because this is still going to go down like 30 more feet to the to the bottom of the second floor. So this whole center part goes all the way from top to bottom, and it's open. So you can see all these pumpkins. So these pumpkins are basically marking out that grid that I was telling you about earlier, right? So you got like a 10 by 10, a 10-foot square is basically that right there. That's a 10-foot square. Of course, three-dimensionally, that is a 10-foot cube, right? Okay. And then these pumpkins are marking that grid that separates the squares. Okay. So the walls, so for example, pull these up. The walls are built on the grid marks, right? So this wall and this entranceway are built on the grid marks, right? This entranceway is built on the grid marks. So that's what is going on with the pumpkins. They're in the ceiling because the ceiling is just going to be really dark. And I put them in the walls for now just to keep the walls from looking like really dark splotches, because once this is 30 feet deeper, there won't be any light sources in this entire center except for on the ceiling and on the floor. So I wanted to keep these in these tall walls just to keep some light in here, keep the walls lit up a little bit. Eventually this place will look a lot nicer. Again, this is just raw. So let's take a little walk. I'm gonna try to put the map that I'm building this off of up here in the corner of the screen so you can kind of see. So we're coming in from, I believe, let me double check. We are coming in from the south side of the map. Technically this entrance is longer than it shows on that map, but that's because whatever the map, the entrance is only like 10 foot higher than this floor. Okay, which that we're not gonna be able to do the entrance the way that is on the map, but that doesn't matter. So we kind of come in, and again we come into this platform here. Eventually these two big sweeping stairwells will be on the sides here going down to that bottom part. Those aren't on there yet. You can see the big pillars in the center of the room holding things up. And let's see, so if I turn around, let's see, for as far as the map, we're going to turn west. So you have like this one little doorway into this room. And you notice like on that map, some of the little doors are like white rectangles, and that indicates a door on a Dungeons & Dragons map if you're not familiar. And some of them, there's just like an S drawn on the wall, and an S means secret door. However, I'm not building secret doors in here. They're just doors. So all of those secret doors in this map are just doors. But interestingly, though, that these front two rooms you can only access in one way. You come in here, and then you come in here for this room. You have like technically little windows out to the main hallway, and those are represented on the map by those little kind of angular lines there. And those in the Dungeons and Dragons map world would be arrow slits. So there might be bad guys hiding behind there, with weapons drawn if you're adventuring in here. But As far as the entrances into these rooms, I might change this to suit my needs, but right now they are the way they are in the map. So you got these nice big side rooms here. So as far as the height of all these rooms, let me go back into the small room. Many of these rooms are described as 10 feet high, and as I discussed before, 10 feet high would technically only be 3 blocks high. I felt that was a little too cramped. So I did make the 10-foot high ceilings 4 blocks high, and you can see that this pumpkin indicates that top grid line is exposed. It just felt right to have it there. Okay, so that was just a decision I made. Whereas when you come into this room, this is actually a 20-foot high ceiling room, and this is like a 10 by 10 grid plus the line in between plus another 10 by 10 grid, and then just the ceiling is at that second grid line, and that felt tall enough to be called a 20-foot ceiling. Okay, so that's kind of how I went with the ceilings in here. Not much else to tell except for it's just a cool big maze of rooms right now. So you come in here, you come down this hallway, you got some side rooms in here that things can happen in. Well, this side room here is going to go to a stairwell that's going to lead down to the second floor. So right now it's just kind of ends right there. And let's see. This kind of comes out here on this other side. Now this right here. So right now I'm in according to the map, the northwest corner of that big open center part. And these are basically like big platforms. So this is going to be like a platform, and then that's again going to drop down 30 more feet below to the bottom of the map. There's a big room back in here up in basically the north end of the map. It's kind of a hard way to get in here because it's basically in the Dungeons and Dragons map is hidden through a series of secret doors and stuff. But that would be this big room here. Yeah, okay. And now this is open because this is going to go down to the second lower floor. And that's basically going to be essentially like a pit with like a spiral stair going around the edge of it. So that will be built later. And then this part over here goes to more stairs leading down to the bottom floor. So I think what I want to do now that I have, again, this is just shapes carved out to make the rooms of the first level. Before I start then working on shaping out the next level, right? Because now I'm going to have to dig it down 30 more feet to the bottom level, and then that has a whole nother series of rooms off to the sides and everything. I think I might want to actually go ahead and let the villagers down in here. I think this might be... Oh, before I do that, hold on. This thing in the middle, this little cobblestone square with the ladder, this is where I started. So remember when I said, this will be the center of the pit? That was straight up above when I dug through the ground. So I basically went down what would be 60 feet as far as the map is concerned. Like 10, divider, 20, divider, 30, divider, 40, 50, 60. This is the bottom of the center square, basically. And this is where I've been working. So I've been using pretty much every bit of storage I could find. And in fact, I went and raided. I'll show you, and I'll show you when we go back up there. But I've taken every extra chest I could possibly take out of my current storage to bring down here. But all of these right now are all full of cobblestone back here in this corner. This is where I've been smelting the cobblestone into stone. And then I've got everything else, like the andesite, like the granite, the diorite. See, the andesite now is a lot less because this is what I've been using for the polished andesite for the floors and, dirt and stuff and everything. In fact, this is my normal traveling equipment because, just to save inventory space, I didn't need stuff like my sword and my shield and my bow. And there's a thunderstorm. Let me sleep that out. Okay, so I want to let the villagers down here so they can get a little bit more elbow space and start enjoying their new home. Now, I don't want them down here in this. I want them to be able to roam freely, but I don't want them to come down here where I'm going to be digging out this 30-foot pit. I want them to stay up here on the top floor. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm thinking fences. We'll see how many fences I have. But I think I'm going to use fences to protect them from getting down into that 30-foot drop. Okay. Let's see what I have. Oak fences. Oak fences. Spruce. Okay, I got a lot of fences. I have a few gates. I have 3 gates. And there's some more fences, jungle fences. So hopefully this is enough fences that we can create a barrier to keep those villagers safe. Here's some dark oak fences. Okay. We should have enough. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark this off. So I will keep a spot up here where I can get back up and down, and we'll just put that on the wall here against the wall. And let's see, let's just fence this off. Oops, there we go. Oh. Okay, so now they can't get down this one, and now I want to block off the ones that are back down in those corners as well. Okay, and I think for these I'll put the gate to get up here in these corners here. Now these are the only gates I have left, so eventually I'll have to recover those gates. So let's go ahead and fence this off as well. Okay, and then we'll go over to that one there. I think this is nope, that does not pass through. I think that pass through will be down in the second floor. Okay, and we'll use some of this jungle. Perfect. Okay, so now the villagers will be free to roam this entire first floor, and none of them will be able to get down into... Oh, hold on. Let me go to that other, what will end up being that round pit. Let's see. And that room was back in one of these through here. Okay, yep, I don't want them going down here either. So let's go ahead and fence this out. Now I don't have any more gates, so when it comes time to actually dig more here, I'll probably seal off the doorway or something. I'll figure some other way of blocking them from getting in the way. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Fantastic. And also the stairs, well, once I start digging the stairs down to the 3rd level, I'll probably be okay with them actually wandering down there. I just don't want them like getting stuck here, and then once I start digging out the pit, they can't get back up. I just don't want to deal with that. All right, so let's get some villagers down here. Okay, now getting the villagers down. This is gonna be fun. I'm probably gonna need a bunch of junk blocks. Okay, build some kind of makeshift stairwell. So where are they actually located? So first of all, right now none of them are coming down here. So you can see, like when I was digging down there, I kind of exposed some of this. This was originally like a bit of a bit going down that they never walked into. So let me block this off, and let's poke our heads down here and see where this is at. This is right here in the middle of where I don't want them to be. Okay, so this isn't where they're gonna go. Okay. So let's maybe come over here closer to... Let's go all the way down here, which might be a little closer to the wall. Where all the golems are, apparently. Okay. And we'll just block this off so no one comes behind me. Okay. Now let's see where this is. Okay, okay. So this is not yet... Okay, let's see where... Okay, how far from the... How far am I from it? I thought pretty much this entire thing was over top of... Okay. Okay, this is strange. I don't know where this is. Maybe it's too far down. So over here was like in the middle. Right? Let's see. See, like you can see that's like the center right there. Okay, let's go. Let's see what's down here. Let's make sure no one can come behind me. This is weird. Okay, I feel like I should still be over top of where I've been digging. Okay. Okay, wow. Okay, this is not as big as I thought. Okay, great. Well, this is a way that they can get down then. This is the way we'll get them down. Okay, so let's start digging a stairwell here. These guys, we'll give them a nice wide stairwell. Now, this is going to be a bit of a distance to convince these guys to go. So this is going to be interesting to see how this... if I'm able to get them down here well enough. Okay, let's see. So this is definitely the back end of the... See, because that's the entrance is up there. That's going to keep them all... Oh, look, hey, little Siamese. Awesome. Okay, let's see. So then once they come down here... Let's give them a little bit of headspace here. So then we'll then want them going down. Oh, okay. We're over this room here. Okay, we can keep going down straightwards then for a little bit. Okay, and then we'll get them down to here. And then at this point, I think we'll just make little too wide stairs. Okay. Now, when they do get down here, we don't want them falling off and hurting themselves. Let's see. Open this up a little bit more in here. Yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of patchwork, repair work when I'm done with this part. Okay. So we want them to go down there. We don't want them to fall off and hurt themselves, so let me block this here, block this here, make sure they can't go on these two squares here. So when they come down, they might not realize they are, okay, they might need some more headspace there. Okay, so then they'll come down, and then they'll hop down here, and then hopefully down here. Okay. Now, I was able to get them down here in the first place by waiting till it was nighttime and putting all their beds down here. And they were close enough that they all tracked to their beds, no problem. So now I'm basically having to relocate the... Oh, it's nighttime right now. Fantastic. Okay. All right, here, let me empty my pockets of some of this stuff so I can get all of their beds. See, this guy's trying to get to this bed here. Okay, let me just get rid of some of this stuff. I'll get rid of most of the dirt. All right, let's start moving beds. Okay. Now I'm going to have to do this without hurting any villagers. Oh my gosh, because they got their... Okay, I'm going to turn on hitboxes for this. Okay, I can't... Why can't I see their little hitboxes? Why can't I see their hitboxes? Oh. Can't see them while they're sleeping. That's weird. No! No! I think I just punched a villager. Oh gosh. Did the golem see that? I swear I think I punched a villager. Okay, the golem didn't notice. Oh man. So dangerous. Dang it! Now, am I punching them, or are they just, like, upset that their beds are getting broken? See, there's a rule in Minecraft. Okay, maybe they're taking a little damage when they hop out of their bed on the wall or something. Because I don't think I'm actually punching them. Let's see. So there's a thing in Minecraft where if you're like, okay, that's what it is. They're just taking damage or something. If you are like using a tool, like you're using a pickaxe and a monster walks in front of you and you hit the monster, it doesn't count as swinging damage at it, which it used to back in the old days. But okay, now guys, I'm gonna need you guys. Let's see if they'll detect the beds. I'm gonna try to take this with me as well. Let's see. So first of all, I'm gonna put the village bell here. And then I'm going to come down here. This might be too far away. This is probably going to be too far away. I'm just going to start putting the beds down. Okay, that's all of them. Okay, it worked for one. One person found the beds. Okay, you're finding them. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'm going to take up their... Oh, no, I need them to know that their workstations are gone. Okay, so we might have to let them wander back up later to see that their workstations are gone. Okay. Nothing over here. Okay, guys, it's over here. Your beds are down here. Your village center is over here, and your beds are going to be down here. 3 people have made it. Okay, so now how do I convince the others to come down here? Okay, you guys, let's see. Let's make a little path here. Okay, here you go. That's right. Come this way, everyone. Everyone, come this way. Follow your friend here. Let's go ahead and maybe break a hole here. Okay, come on down, fellas. I just saw someone sparkle green. What are you sparkling for? What are you seeing that made you sparkle? Okay, I don't want you down here. I want you coming this way. Okay. I think I'm just going to have to give them time. I think if they wander enough, they'll figure it out. I hope. And again, I also need the ones that went down already to notice that their workbenches are gone. So I'm going to clear out some of these walls just to get their pathing so that there's a little bit more, they're a little bit more direct. I think I just might have saw. Yep, I just saw another one go down. That's awesome. Okay, let's see. Make sure it stays lit. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not sure why you're getting stuck on this over here. So I want them to move so I can maybe block off this part of the hallway because no one's workbenches were here. They might be seeing that as a possible way down. Maybe. Move. There we go. Okay, let me block this back up. Like, I don't want their pathfinding to lead them down this way at all. I want them to ignore this entire hallway. There's a lot of golems in here. It's crazy how many of these things they make. Alright, I think I just have to give them time. So we'll just give them time. And see what happens. Let's see. Yeah, see, you can see I've been raiding chests. I've been kind of scrunching things up into chests and taking the chests so that I have stuff I can store all this cobblestone in. So it is still nighttime. I tell you what, let me, I don't have a bed. I'm going to sleep and kind of get them moving around again, and hopefully they'll all, over time, they're going to discover that their workbenches are gone, and hopefully everybody will figure out that they've all moved downstairs. That's the hope. I also discovered... Oh, it's not nighttime anymore? I think you might have just heard the zombie groan. There's a cave or something either right below this or right next to this. Because sometimes I'll come down and it will say that I can't sleep. Which is just hilarious. And cobblestone there. Okay. All right, well, I think I'm going to give those villagers a couple of days, a couple of Minecraft days, and just observe them and see if they end up making their way down here. So I will come back with you once they've either all made it down or I've torn every last hair out of my head. Either way, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, it has been several Minecraft days now, and I think they're all pretty much established down here. I think they've all figured out that their workbenches are gone, and sometimes they come up here, but they don't really go much past about here. So I think that's just them wandering around in the area of their village. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take down this temporary stuff here while they're still asleep and not trying to walk up. Do I have... Okay, I do still have some stone on me. Let's see. I can repair this ceiling while I'm up here. Let's see. Here we go. And that should... Oops. Just about do it right there. Okay, great. So let me take down this dirt and then... It's funny, they have one golem here already, and earlier he was walking around over their beds, and like everyone he stepped on, he would wake them up, and then they would get up and run around and sit back down on their bed. Let's see. Is he going to fall down? There we go. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so we've successfully moved the villagers down here into their new home. And now I noticed, so this technically, this I think marks their village. Although, you know, they have the beds, but I think technically this is their village center. And I noticed they don't really wander past a certain radius out from that. Like, they'll come out here onto this balcony. They'll walk around a little bit. Oh, I hear another cat. But I've seen them come down this hall because, like, as I was working down there, I would see them pass by these windows, but they don't go very far down this hallway. So as far as, like, I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with this. So I was thinking that the villagers would just end up roaming around this entire base, but they're really just going to stay pretty central to wherever their quote village is. So I might end up having to make like little villages, technically little villages all around my base. So I can have like certain villagers of certain professions kind of in different areas of the base. And then each one will kind of form its own little village within a radius. So that's not something I really considered. But I guess no matter how many villagers you have, a village is still only a certain size. So while I was waiting for them to get established, I took this middle part down another 10-foot level. I still got 2 more to go. You can see that's the floor down there. And I did find, let me show you. It is nighttime, so... But I think I have the entrance up here pretty well lit up, so I should be okay. I did find another cat. I just wanted to show you that real quick. Okay, let me just close that up. Our newest one is the British short hair. That one right there. So there's only 3 cats left that I don't have now. I need the tabby, the white cat, and the black cat. And now the black cat can actually spawn in a village during a full moon. Or a new moon, I'm sorry. Well, it's a new moon or a full moon. I forget which one it is. And so they have to form kind of while the villagers are asleep. So this now, their old home is completely empty. It's been abandoned. I've chopped up some of the walls, and now they cannot access this part anymore. So I think that is done. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Great, fantastic. All right, well, I think I might actually end the episode here. I know this wasn't a very action-packed episode, but for me, it's been many days and hours of... Oh, here comes the zombie. Let me get out of... Okay. Thank you for burning. As I was saying, for me, it's been a really long time, and I want to go ahead and get this episode out. And what I think I'm going to do is, off-camera, between episodes, I'm going to finish digging out the bottom layer and just kind of get all that grunt work done. And whenever I start the next episode, hopefully... I'll have the entire base, at least all of the room shapes dug out and in place, and then we can start looking at decorating the place up and start making it look like a home. Well, from me and all the cats, thank you for coming by. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.